Hello there, I'm Steve Costello with my colleague in Ireland, Leo Faerberg. Hope you're all well today. So, what are we
Hi
going to talk
guys.
about? Hi, Leo. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about something that I just wrote down on my notepad. So much coming up. If you listen to maybe yourself or the people around you, it's something that we often hear. People may use different words and different phrases, but there's always so much coming up. There's something going down at work. There's something going on with my relationship at home. There's something going on with my kids. My car broke down. I'm I've got an interview coming up and I've got to prepare for that. Do I have the skills to go for that interview? Should I be going for that interview? And then I've got relationship problems coming back in again. There's all so much stuff flying around. It's almost like a carousel on a fairground. All this stuff is whizzing around in your head. And every now and again, we try and grab one of the things and say, okay, I've got that thing. It's here right in front of me. I'm going to deal with this. I'm going to work it out. And then you didn't because you couldn't or you didn't know where to go with it. So you let the carousel turn a little bit more, and then you grab another one and you try and deal with that one. And trying isn't enough because it doesn't work out. And the same goes on and on and on. And suddenly we find we're back at the beginning of the carousel again, if the carousel has a beginning. And we get that first thing, and we still haven't managed to work it through. We still haven't managed to sort it out. And it's not because we're stupid. We might be highly intelligent beings who have highly important jobs that demand an incredible amount of management and skill. But still, when it comes to managing our own personal stuff, we find that we can't manage it in the way that we would manage the task list at work or whatever. Sometimes we try and turn those psychological challenges into task lists. Let's write a task list. Let's see how we can manage this. It doesn't work. So what can we do, Leo? Is there an end to this? Can we ever get off that carousel?
I'll probably get a bit personal because right now I'm going through the very thing we are talking about because I got so much stuff happening in my life and it's been happening for several years in a row. And then it brought me to changing, like to relocating to a different country with a different language. Thank God I know the language enough to function and even to work. And again, you come here, your expectations fail absolutely. All of my expectations failed, and it's like do something, because we are brought up in the culture like of doing, of hustling around. Just make a list, go do this, call this person, fill in a resume, find another job, whatever. But I realized that, like, I'm losing myself in all this stuff. None of my actions bring any positive or whatever result. It's just, like as if it's going on like in the air, all my efforts. And so right now, it's like probably our Buddhist friends would say, like, I'm surrendering. I let myself do the minimum. Like if I have appointments, that's okay. If I don't have appointments, well, that's okay too. Like as soon as I got to this point that I have enough to survive, and it appeared to be a big challenge, because the most important thing is, yes, we have so many things to do. We have so many different challenges coming our way. But what we keep forgetting is there is no one will ever uh, do it or deal with the challenges or do the to-do list. No one but you. Even if at the end you decide that you don't want this, or you can delegate that, or you can abandon this idea, or whatever, or come up with another one, it's still you. You decide whether you hire a cleaner, for example, and not do the cleaning of the house yourself. But that's your decision. You are the one. And so that's what I usually say. You are the tool of your labor. And if you don't care about the tool, it it cannot be efficient. If you don't sharpen your knife or chainsaw or whatever, if you don't take care of the car, it will not bring you anywhere. your knife will not cut properly. Uh, like your skill will not work properly if you're not in shape, and they don't mean just physical shape, what's proclaimed now, like look good, like muscle, build up muscle, like little as less fat, like as little fat as possible and stuff. No, it's not that shape. It's your mental shape, it's your energy shape. And right now I feel drained. And so what I do, I sleep. I don't do anything. I just procrastinate and learn to forgive myself and learn to not to worry while not doing anything. And it appears to be a challenge, but I don't see any other way that I can deal with my challenges unless I get myself together, not in the willpower sense, but find myself where I am, bring myself to more or less stable and balanced state, and like maybe looking easier at the things, taking things easier. And it's a lot of job, I should say.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of work. Absolutely. One of the things that um, came up recently was a client talking about all of these things. All of her things were, some of them were quite light, some of them were not at all light. So she really did have quite a head full of stuff going on. And I saw her on the carousel, and the carousel was flying. It was going so fast you couldn't see who was on it, what was on it, what sort of things were going on. That's the best analogy I can give to this. And I suggested to her, how about we start by just slowing it down a little bit? Just putting a little break in there somewhere so that it can slow down slightly. We're not going to stop the stuff from going on, not right now at least, but at least we can slow it down so we can get a look at it. We can take a breath, we can pause. Now, in her position at work, she's used to taking quite big steps and doing it very successfully. She's good at that stuff. She takes these huge big leaps, and where I would think, oh no, I couldn't do that one like that. I would have to do that in 10 steps, not in one. But sometimes with our psychological challenges, we need to learn how to take a step, just one step. And then when we've taken that step and we're putting our feet back on the ground, then we can prepare to take another one and then another one. So eventually our steps become more fluid, as it were. But the problem is that people don't slow that carousel down, or they keep taking those steps so quickly that they forgot what they did with the first step. So we need to get all that into our minds. Maybe I'm sounding a bit out there right now, a little bit different, but the small steps make a difference. So that is one of the things that I like to teach people, because people need to be taught, they need to be reminded, because we're brought up in this world of quick results, get quick results, go for it, push it. And sometimes, as Leo said, you've got to sleep and then wake up slowly, come back to consciousness. Because also the thing about, I just mentioned consciousness, it's fascinating how people are not always conscious of the things they're doing. They're conscious of the big thing on the to-do list, whatever that might be, a relationship challenge, for example. They're conscious of that, but they're not conscious of all the little things that are going into that particular topic. And we need to redevelop that ability to be in touch with ourselves. We've talked about somatic awareness recently. So we're talking about being in touch with the body. It's not just about what we're thinking. I like to say, people, tell me how you're feeling, and I don't just want to know how you're thinking. And they look at you like, oh, well, people usually want to know how I'm thinking, what I'm thinking about. But we need to know how we feel as well. We need to have that connection, because that connection can make a big difference. Being a little bit vague right now,
Yes.
but it does make a difference. So, Leo, you're over to you.
Um, I know that you like this exercise very much about being in the eye of the storm,
Mm,
where the calmest point in the big storm is in the center, where it's like probably never been there in like in real life, but that's what uh we mean by finding this calm uh, position where like of an observer. Yes, things are happening
mm,
and happening, but and we perceive them as they are happening to us, like yeah, they happen to you. But what if then they don't? What if they are happening, but they're happening around you, and you can place yourself in this calm space of the observer, because when get this neutral observational position, it's easier to assess the situation, to evaluate the needs, like to gather enough energy to deal with the problem, or maybe to let the problem go, because people, and me is not an exception, we always think about that things need to be fixed, that things need to be done, you have to do something about it. But sometimes most of it, or quite a great deal of it, it's like, let it go. It's not about you. There is nothing you can do. And the hardest thing is sometimes to accept that you're unable to do, or like do just part of it. You're not responsible for the whole world, even if it seems like it's about you or someone close to you. And so very often, like when people say you're like, why don't you do anything? Like in my case, look for another job, look for like, go around the town. Okay, I tried, but it was like mostly to try and in a way to please people around me so that I don't uh kind of a little uh, worry what they think about me, because they think that I'm a coach, like couch potato, lazy bones. I do nothing because it seems like I do nothing. They don't know what I do. And very often the trick is when what we perceive as doing nothing, many of my clients, especially when you have clients who have kind of ADHD stuff, or maybe they dissociate. What's wrong? They do nothing. They procrastinate. Like a mom would uh, tell me, talk with my son about his procrastination. He's not doing his stuff in college. He even cannot make himself go and cut his hair. Like he stays in bed all day. But when you talk to the guy, it's like yes, he's not moving. He's not creating any cows, or he's creating cows but not cleaning it up. But in his head, he's constantly racing, and it's so hard to bear that he dissociates and he loses track of time. It's the how the brain works. You have to be careful. You have to take care of it. And one of the basic thing is to slow down, and it's so difficult. And it has to be basically trained, discussed, and noted, and trained, and face this. And everyone has to face this anxiety that comes when you start slowing down, because not doing anything, as it seems, not following the to-do lists or protocols, or not achieving, is it's like it becomes so scary, and you
yeah,
have to deal with it.
yeah, absolutely. I think that is a good place to stop
Yeah,
because we can always talk all day about this stuff.
yeah,
That's
we love it.
kind of what we do. Um, so let's remember, if you're on that carousel and it's whizzing around at light speed, what's one thing you can do? Just put the brake on a little bit. We're not talking about stopping it. We're not talking about magically making everything go away. That would be called magic thinking, and magic thinking, we all know,
It won't. It won't.
it won't go away. That's right. So what's that one thing? It's that one thing that you can do to slow down that carousel. If you can't work out what that one thing is, no problem. Message Leo, message me, leave a comment below this video, and we will get back to you and we'll talk to you about some of the things that you can do. Have a brilliant day. We'll speak to you again really soon.
See you. Come back to us.